All right, Rodriguez crew. So we've been looking at the different factors that have led to the Revolutionary War, and after the American colonists declared independence from Great Britain, the first thing they had to decide was what kind of government to have. The colonists were tired of living under British control. The British government had treated them unfairly, and the colonists set out to make sure their new government would be much, much better. As we go through this PowerPoint, the expectation is that you are completing the worksheets in your booklet so that by the time you are done, you have all the information you need. So the colonists wanted a government that has enough blank to do its job, doesn't give anyone to blank power, considers the needs of all blank, lets people have a blank, and protects individual blank. So go ahead and look at the choices at the right, see what you think belongs in the blanks. You can pause here if you want, and let's check the answers. How'd you do? So they wanted a government that has enough power to do its job, doesn't give anyone too much power, considers the needs of all states, lets people have a say, and protects individual rights. In 1777, the Americans wrote their first plan for government in a document called the Articles of Confederation. The first attempt, the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation? What's a confederation? A confederation is a blank of individuals blank together for a blank. What would make sense in these spaces? A confederation is a group of individuals united together for a purpose. Each state was blank and had its own blank. Each state would send blank to the Congress of the Confederation. The Congress was the only blank government. There was no blank. In Congress, each state got blank vote. Each state was independent and had its own government. Each state would send representatives to the Congress of the Confederation. The Congress was the only central government. There was no president. In Congress, each state got one vote. Hey, this sounds great. States get to keep their blank and blank. No blank telling the states what to do. Congress had the power to create a blank to blank all the states. States get to keep their power and independence. No government telling the states what to do. Congress had the power to create a military to protect all the states. Wait, not so fast. Congress had no way to blank its blank. Congress had no power to collect blank to pay for the military. The articles could only be blank if blank the states agreed. What do you think? Let's see. Congress had no way to enforce its laws. Congress had no power to collect taxes to pay for the military. The articles could only be changed if all the states agreed. Think about it. Under the Articles of Confederation, a president would lead the country. True or false? You should have answered false. States would be independent under the Articles of Confederation. True or false? You should have answered true. The Articles of Confederation were easy to change. True or false? False. The more people a state had, the more votes it got in Congress. True or false? False. Congress did not have the power to collect taxes. True or false? True. Congress could pass laws and force states to follow them. True or false? False. The Articles of Confederation created the first American government. True or false? True. There were some good things and some bad things about the Articles of Confederation. In general, people felt like the government wasn't working. Congress is too weak to end the conflicts between our states. But there was no easy solution. We need a president. Large states should have more say. More help for fishermen. Up with central government. Down with central government. Small states should have more say. Who needs a president? More help for farmers. States had different needs. Some states depended on fishing, while others mostly grew crops. Some states had different sizes. Some states had many people, while others had few. I'm hoping you're taking your knowledge of the 13 colonies and you're able to figure out, based on the shapes of these states, which ones are which. People had different opinions. Some people feared a central government. A central government will have too much power. We'll lose our freedom. Others thought a central government was necessary, but we'll never get anything done if no one is in charge. Think about it. Everybody thought the central government should have more power. True or false? False. Some people were afraid states might lose their independence. True or false? True. Different states had different needs for government to meet. True or false? True. The states all got along with each other. True or false? False. The government created by the Articles of Confederation had everything under control among the states. True or false? False. Something needed to change, but people didn't want a central government to have too much power. The states decided to put aside some of their differences and come together to try to solve the problem of forming a new government. A new idea. 1. Branch. Legislative. Makes laws. 3 branches was a new idea. The legislative to make the laws, the executive branch to carry out the laws, and the judicial branch to interpret the laws. But wait! How many votes should each state get in the legislature? Think about it. Each state gets to send representatives to the legislature. Which states would have the most power if the more people a state had, the more representatives it got? Answer: the more people, the more power. Each state gets to send representatives to the legislature. Which states would have the most power if each state got 1 vote, no matter how small? Answer: people in the small states would have more power. Battle of the Plans. So these 2 colonies came up with their own plans. The Virginia Plan. Legislative branch has blank chambers. Number of votes for each state depends on the state's blank. Blank states would have more power. The legislative branch has 2 chambers. Number of votes for each state depends on the state's population, and larger states would have more power. Now think about the size of Virginia. Why might that be their plan? The New Jersey Plan. The legislative branch has blank chamber. Each state gets blank vote. Blank states would have more power. Legislative branch has 1 chamber. Each state gets 1 vote. Smaller states would have more power. Think about it. Is it more fair for every state to have the same amount of power no matter how few people live there? Or should states with more people have more power? What do you think? And why? There were a lot of differences to overcome and a lot of compromises to make. But finally, the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution solution. Divide Congress into two houses. The Senate, where each state gets 2 votes, and the House of Representatives. The more people the state has, the more votes it gets. And that's not all. Not only did the Constitution resolve the problem of the legislature, but it solved some other problems as well. Think about it. Did the Articles of Confederation require states to treat other states the same as their own citizens? Yes or no? No. The Constitution solution. The Constitution requires each state to treat blank of other states the blank as it treats its own citizens. The Constitution requires each state to treat citizens of other states the same as it treats its own citizens. Think about it. How many states had to agree in order for the Articles of Confederation to be changed? All the states or a majority of states? All the states. The Constitution can be changed if 2/3 of the members of Congress and 3/4 of the states agree. Think about it. Did the Articles of Confederation require states to follow the laws Congress passed? No, it did not. The Constitution says that the laws passed by Congress are superior to laws passed by the states. The new Americans made compromises and found solutions for their new government. Let's review the final product of the Constitutional Convention. Under the Constitution, laws are made by the A, executive, or B, legislative? Legislative branch. Laws passed by Congress are blank to state laws, superior or inferior? Superior. Congress has 1 chamber or 2 chambers? 2 chambers. Each state gets 2 votes in the House of Representatives or Senate? Senate. In the House of Representatives, the number of votes each state gets is based on its population or taxes? Population. A change to the Constitution must be approved by all states or 3/4 of the states? 3/4. Although they managed to solve the problems created by the Articles, there were still many decisions to be made before everyone accepted the Constitution.